I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. San Antonio police have arrested a man they say is behind a series of thefts. Police say the man targeted jewelry stores and pawn shops across the city. Meredith Haas shares more on the arrest.
San Antonio police say 38-year-old Michael Allen Loving is now in custody on 10 felony warrants tied to multiple jewelry thefts and robberies, which apparently spanned across multiple shops and pawn shops all over the city.
Over several years, he's been arrested 37 times.
Police say recent tips and investigative work led to Loving's arrest Tuesday.
Today, he was found with a sledgehammer and a rock. And that just goes to show that this is what he traditionally does.
Police also say Loving entered pawn shops and small jewelry stores and asked to try on jewelry before walking out with the items. His most recent offense being November 23rd, when police say Loving walked into an H-E-B jewelry store on Zarzamora.
He goes to the store, he breaks the jewelry, he takes it, and he runs over somebody with his car while fleeing the scene, and he is later arrested running through neighborhoods naked.
Loving was arrested, then bonded out, but SAPD say Loving cut his ankle monitor off and was back at it. Loving's current charges include theft and robbery charges.
Our detectives want to reassure those business owners that we do have a suspect in custody and that we are working to add additional charges to this, because this is not something we take lightly. These are serious offenses.
Meredith Haas, KENS 5.
A former city staffer is facing charges after police say a threatening note was found. Investigators say District 9 Councilwoman Misty Spears was the target of the alleged threat. Zach Briggs reports.
He's 36-year-old Brian Naylor, who used to work for District 9 Councilwoman Misty Spears, but now Naylor faces potential prison time after being accused of making a terroristic threat against Spears. According to investigators, this goes back to December 11th, when a staff member at the District 9 field office found a note stuck underneath a desk belonging to the councilwoman's chief of staff. The affidavit says the note had a photo of Naylor on it and a message that said, "Die fascist." The staffer then reported it to other members of the team, the city's HR department, and Councilwoman Spears herself. Investigators say the note made Spears and her husband, quote, extremely fearful. Naylor's working for District 8 City Councilwoman Ivelisse Meza Gonzalez, but he is expected to be fired, according to an email sent to council offices by City Manager Eric Walsh. KENS 5 caught up with Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones, who called this an unfortunate incident.
Look, there's just no room for this, certainly not in our community, but also certainly not at City Hall. My goodness. So I'm very thankful that the individual was apprehended.
As for Naylor, he's bonded out of jail and he's not allowed to have any contact with members of the District 9 team. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
TxDOT has rejected San Antonio's appeal to keep the Rainbow Crosswalk in the city's Pride District downtown. Simone Simpson explains what comes next.
Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones was not surprised by TxDOT's rejection of the city's appeal to keep the Rainbow Crosswalk. The colors on the street may fade, but the city's voice will not.
It's not a surprise, right? I said very early on I was not optimistic about that, just because I know the intent here is frankly something other than public safety. We just got to deal with what we're dealing with at this point.
Dealing with the reality that the crosswalk must go.
We very much anticipated that would be the response, but I think the city made some good arguments.
Maria Salazar is the LGBTQ+ advisory board chair.
We will certainly continue to be visible and go forward with no shame.
District 1 Councilwoman Sue Kaur is ready for the next chapter.
We are going to paint the sidewalks, one block south and one block north of the crosswalks right now in our flag colors, and we're finding a date to do that before we have to paint over the crosswalk.
We've got to pick our battles. We are a diverse and united community in other ways.
The mayor says no deadline has been given on when the crosswalk would have to be removed, but said that the city would move expeditiously to comply. Reporting from downtown, Simone Simpson, KENS 5.
Many of us decorate our homes for the holidays, but one family is now challenging an HOA violation over claims their lights are too bright. Mike Jimenez has the story.
To me, when you think about Griswold, maybe you would think that it's overdone, which mine is not.
Instead of enjoying their Christmas light display, the Gathright family is in a clash with their HOA.
We're being harassed with people coming by, taking pictures, and we are receiving violations and threats of being fined $2,500 for them.
After putting up their Christmas lights, the Gathright say Mountain Lodge HOA sent them a violation notice, telling them their Christmas spirit was shining too bright, noting the glare from their lights.
They don't produce glare, that they produce glow.
Ironically, the HOA has a decoration contest with 3 categories, one of them Griswold, telling residents to light up all of Mountain Lodge.
So on one hand, they're encouraging it, and on the other hand, they're trying to slap me with a $2,500 fine for doing it.
The Gathrights say this isn't their first clash with the HOA. The family feels because of previous legal action, they are being targeted.
We've actually had to seek legal counsel and are in the process of filing a lawsuit. And information that I've gotten from my lawyer is that this is intruding on my religious rights.
Texas Senate Bill 581, passed in 2021, protects homeowners' rights to display religious items on their property and restricts HOAs from restricting location, size, or materials unless there is a public safety threat.
And they're not intruding on anyone's property.
The Gathrights say they just want to be able to celebrate Christmas together.
I'd also like to go back and reflect on the movie, because in the movie, Clark Griswold, he was the hero. He's the family man who's trying to celebrate Christmas.
Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
Now, we reached out to the Mountain Lodge HOA for comment. We're waiting to hear back. The Gathright family says they plan to keep their Christmas lights up while the dispute continues. Well, holiday magic came from above at Methodist Children's Hospital. Santa and his elves rappelled down the hospital windows, stopping by patient rooms to wave and smile. The visit is part of an effort to make the season brighter for children and families spending the holidays in the hospital. Methodist Children's Hospital serves families from across South Texas and provides specialized care for babies and children. And that's the news in San Antonio.
Hello there, Mia Gratney here with a look at what's making headlines in Houston, starting with a man who is in custody after police say he stopped a Spring ISD school bus, entered that bus, and pointed a gun at the driver and students. Marcelina Benito has the latest on this frightening incident, including newly released video capturing the tense moments as they unfolded.
The video was scary.
Tonight, Portia Crane still shaken after watching what happened to her daughter, A Miracle, and a bus full of Spring High School students Monday morning. Spring ISD police say the man in the video is David Madison. He whips his car around, cutting off the bus, walks up to the door, and pulls out a gun.
I was like, I knew he was gonna use it, or I knew I was gonna die. I knew he was going to try to do something.
A Miracle is a junior at Spring High. Madison is her ex-boyfriend. They broke up a few months ago.
He got all the way on the bus. He tried to force open the doors, and he pointed the gun at my bus driver and told her to open the doors, and the doors opened. He got on the bus, and he started tugging on me and my hair.
She says he yelled at her to get off the bus while the gun was pointed her way, but she held on to a seat and refused to go with him. Other students on the bus escaped out the back and ran to safety. In 2 to 3 minutes, it was all over.
I don't know what went through his mind, but he just stopped. And he told me he was going to see me later, and he got off the bus.
Tonight, Portia relieved her daughter is safe, but frustrated it got this far. She tells us she's been calling Precinct 4 since October.
I've been trying to get help from the police department to do something about this young man.
The mom says just this Saturday, 2 days before the bus incident, the suspect refused to get off their property. Precinct 4 constables responded to her home. She says he only got a trespassing warning.
They did not take me seriously. He could have killed her and killed people on the bus.
Tonight, Madison is now behind bars, facing multiple charges, including attempted kidnapping. Spring ISD police tell us everyone on the bus did everything they needed to stay safe.
Both the students and the bus driver stuck to avoid, deny, and defend. And they fell back on their training, and under the circumstances, of very, very, very difficult circumstances, it turned out all right.
Thank goodness everyone is okay. That was Marcelina Benito with the story for us. This week, new numbers from the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office show the deadliest years on record for bodies in the bayou are this year and last year. Over the past several months, there's been a lot of attention on the amount of bodies being found in our bayous. It even sparked fears of a serial killer, which prompted city officials to then respond. Ron Trevino takes a closer look at the numbers.
Houston, the Bayou City. We have about 2,500 miles of waterways. And since 2017, more than 200 people were found dead along those bayous. Let's look at the numbers from the Medical Examiner's Office showing that the deadliest years on this chart are 2024 and 2025, with 35 cases last year and 31 cases this year so far. One of those cases, that of Rodney Chapman, remains undetermined. I spoke with his sister, who lives in Oklahoma. She thinks he was murdered. With the cause of death still being undetermined, what are your thoughts?
I think that they don't want to solve it. I mean, it's a lot of things going through my head just on the simple fact that we still don't know where his phone is. We still don't know where his wallet is.
The rising numbers of bodies in the bayous even caused the mayor to respond a few months ago, saying there's no evidence any of the deaths are related.
We have challenges. We're meeting those challenges. But a serial killer loose in Houston is not one of our challenges today.
When you look at the bayous themselves, the ones with the most cases this year, Buffalo Bayou with 10, Brays Bayou with 7, and White Oak with 3. Many cases in the downtown area and east of downtown. And looking at the manner of death, this year 18 are still ruled undetermined, 9 accidental, 2 suicides, 1 homicide, and 1 pending.
Ron Trevino with the breakdown for us. Thank you. It's been 3 days since a tragic dog attack in the Katy area left a 63-year-old man dead and a mother and her toddler injured. Authorities are still piecing together how the pack of dogs got loose, and we're digging for more on both the victim and the owner. Troy Kless shares more, plus learns from experts what you need to do to keep yourself safe if you ever encounter aggressive dogs.
Today, people keep moving on this path in a Katy area park, past a location where 3 dogs mauled a 63-year-old man to death. Investigators say they're looking into how the dogs, 2 pit bull mixes and a cane corso, escaped their owner's property.
Hear about stories like this, just kind of what comes to mind immediately.
I mean, it is so tragic, and you hear of it often happening, especially here in Houston.
Haley Kenner is owner and co-founder of Revival Dog Training in Houston. We asked her what you can do if you encounter off-leash dogs in your neighborhood. Her advice, have an object to fend off the dogs and keep between them and yourself, like a walking stick.
You know, any kind of obstacle like car, trash can, you know, your side of a house, anything you can get behind to kind of shield yourself in a situation like that is a good idea.
She also recommended a spray like citronella oil that might ward off dogs. The advice following Monday's attack that saw 3 dogs maul a man to death before attacking a mom and her 2-year-old son outside of their home nearby. Kenner shares what you should do if a dog attacks.
Your natural reaction would be to resist and pull away, but it's important that you feed into the bite and move towards the dog, because any kind of pulling or resistance is going to create tension, and it's going to encourage the dog to bite harder.
The 3 dogs are now in Harris County Animal Control custody and will be under rabies observation. A court hearing will determine whether they are returned to the owner or stay in custody to ultimately be put down. Kenner wants to emphasize the importance of training for dog owners, and she urges people to also be cautious if encountering a dog on its own.
You have no idea what that dog is going to do. It's especially, you know, you even have to be more cautious if you have a dog of your own with you.
Stay vigilant always. Troy, thank you for that info. Tuesday, Houston police released new body cam video showing a deadly officer-involved shooting. It happened after a suspect stabbed an officer in the head. Here's a look at the scene from the night of the incident back on November 23rd. HPD says the suspect approached 2 officers inside the CVS on Milam Street in downtown Houston asking for help. He was upset, talking about leaving his cereal and milk on the bus. When officers tried to talk to him, he became more agitated. Here's a portion of that video just released.
You came to us for help. so let me. We're trying to help you. You understand that?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Do not try me.
Hold on, bro.
Do not try me.
No.
Don't try me. You get closer, I'm gonna you up.
Stop reaching.
Man, bro. Turn around. No. Turn around.
No.
Let me go. Let me tell y'all what's wrong.
That's what we're trying to talk to you.
My apartment complex is getting bashed in.
Okay. Stop.
Bro, that's not human.
You need to chill out.
At one point, the officers tackled the man who had a knife. He managed to cut Officer Joaquin Garza near his ear, forcing his partner to then open fire, killing the man. Officer Garza was treated at the hospital and later released. And with that, that's a wrap of your Houston headlines today. I'm Mia Gradney. Take care.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Grace Thornton with your Texas weather headlines as we continue through another week here. We've still got a lot of warm weather on the way for Texas. However, with the chance for some drizzle and some rain showers through the middle of this week, as well as our next cold front on the way, there will be some changes in the temperatures, but eventually we get to warm weather across the entirety of the state. So let's move into our Wednesday morning. Rain and drizzle chances, mostly for the central and eastern portions of the state. That will start to work its way east as we head towards Wednesday evening and early Thursday morning. Early Thursday morning, our cold front starts to inch into portions of north and west Texas there. It will bring some wind. It may even squeeze out a couple of additional showers closer to central and east Texas too, and will cause a minor cool down mostly for Friday. For Thursday afternoon, actually clearer conditions may warm some of us up in the central and south areas to well above average for your Thursday afternoon. So here's a look at rainfall totals for mostly what we pick up on Wednesday. That will be mostly towards the coastal areas from Houston down to Brownsville, maybe a half an inch to up to an inch possible for those areas, and then hundredths of an inch closer to the I-35 corridor in Austin and San Antonio. This front is also going to bring in high winds, most notably for those northern stretches of the state from Dallas to San Angelo, and then all the way up towards Amarillo as it moves through early Thursday morning. And then as it sinks down towards the south, it's going to kind of let up those winds a little bit. We shouldn't see as gusty weather in those central and southern portions of the state. So over the next 3 days, some of us warming, some of us cooling, kind of at different times. If you're up towards those north and west edges of Texas, you're going to see cooling most likely on Thursday as that front comes through early in the morning, and then start to rebound temperatures come Friday. For the central and eastern portions of the state, we'll see a pretty warm day still on Thursday. And then as we head into Friday, some of those temperatures dip down a little bit. You can see 68 in Austin, 70 degrees for Corpus Christi. And then after that, we'll start to rebound temperatures even more. So Friday, technically another cooler day for this upcoming week. But then as we head forward into our Saturday, warm temperatures will be across the entirety of the state, 80 degrees, maybe a little bit less than that in a couple of areas down towards the south and east there, but above average temperatures will be the name of the game as we head further into this weekend and next week. We've got the 22nd to the 26th lined up here for temperature trends well above average for the entire state of Texas, and high confidence in that as well. And also with our precipitation outlook, we're trending much drier than average for the majority of the state. So for your Texas forecast over the next 3 days, it kind of depends on where you are, but there's a transitional period of weather going on, especially for Wednesday into Thursday. Again, Wednesday, most of us in the central and southern and far eastern areas will see a little bit of drizzle. Then Thursday, that cold front moves through, will bring some very warm temperatures to the valley as well as central areas of Texas. And then as we head closer to Friday, temperatures will be rebounding up towards the north and west, but will be a little bit cooler for everyone else. Those are your Texas weather headlines. I'm Grace Thornton. We'll have updates coming up tomorrow.
I'm Cindy Aguirre with your headlines from North Texas. In Dallas, a Texas state trooper is being called a hero for his role in saving several women who were trapped in a fiery car. This is a look at the stunning video from his body-worn camera capturing the moments he rushed to the car. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez sat down with that trooper to hear what it was like in those crucial moments at the scene.
Corporal Jesse Smith has been a DPS trooper for 7 years. He's used to urgent calls, but on May 10th, just after midnight, he got a call that sent him racing down the North Dallas Tollway, trying to stop people from getting hurt.
We got a call of a wrong-way driver driving north on Dallas North Tollway.
But before he could get there, it was already too late.
About a mile before I got there, they called and said that he had struck a car.
That driver slammed head-on into a car carrying 5 young women. When Trooper Smith got there, the cars were smoking and people were trapped inside.
Out the passenger side, there's one girl. Her head and arm is kind of hanging out.
He had to move quickly.
So I go around to the other side of the vehicle, and then I'm seeing that the car is starting to catch fire. It's the flames are getting pretty high.
Smith had no time to wait for firefighters. He dragged one of the passengers out of the car.
I just had to hook her and pull her out the window, drag her away from the car a little ways.
A truck driver stopped to help.
Hey, grab someone, drag them across, come on. Hey. Stay right here, stay right here.
Together, they kept pulling victims out.
So we dragged them across the road to the grass, and another trooper started CPR on one.
Corporal Smith was focused on saving lives.
Do you have a knife?
Nobody's in the
We got
car.
one trap there. Come on, you gotta get up.
I
Come
can't,
on.
my leg is broke.
Okay, we're gonna drag you then.
Okay.
It's gonna hurt.
You can hear Trooper Smith out of breath, not realizing how close he was to the flames.
You don't notice that it's, singeing your hairs and your sleeves while you're doing it.
He had to go to the hospital for smoke inhalation. The rescue lasted just minutes, but it changed lives forever. One woman trapped inside couldn't be saved and died at the scene. The other survived because help ran towards them. In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
A final call for a fallen hero. Family and friends came together in Rockwall to honor Austin Cooley. He served his community in 2 uniforms as a firefighter and police officer. Tiffany Liu was there as his fellow first responders said goodbye.
500 South County Chief 3.
On the stage of Lake Point Church in Rockwall were 2 uniforms.
500 to South County Chief 3, Kaufman 915.
1 fire, 1 police, for 1 man.
This is the last and final call for South Hunt County Fire Rescue, Deputy Chief and City of Kaufman Police Officer Austin Cooley.
Austin Cooley was 26, a deputy fire chief in South Hunt County and a police officer in Kaufman.
A great man, an amazing public servant.
He died on December 8th in a head-on collision after a night shift on the way home.
Policing, fire, but family always prevailed.
Fire Chief Ryan Biggers knew Austin through many milestones, including his early days of dating, then marrying the love of his life.
Reagan, Austin cherished everything about his family. It was his favorite subject.
Just a few months ago, Austin became a father.
He was always so excited to show anyone and everyone his pride and joy, that adorable baby girl. To watch him live his dream of being a husband and father is one of the proudest moments of my life.
And it's Austin's family that his fire and police brothers and sisters will continue to support, showing up in the tough days to come.
Austin, my brother, I love you. We'll see you on the big one, bro.
Austin would have turned 27 this Saturday. A short life, though well-lived and loved in honor.
Deputy Chief Austin Cooley, you are now clear of duty. We thank you for your service and your dedication.
In Rockwall,
Rest in peace, brother. We'll take it from here.
I'm Tiffany Liu.
It has been a tough year for some American families between the longest government shutdown in history, inflation, and mass layoffs caused by the rise of AI. Scoop Jefferson shows us how one nonprofit in North Texas is helping any way it can.
I know personally what it looks like to go without.
Thousands of people lined up for another massive food giveaway in North Texas. Some families trying to offset their grocery bills.
I raised 15 kids, 8 are still at home.
Foster mother DeWanna Richards Shelby drove from East Texas for free food from the Tarrant Area Food Bank. She's seen the price of some of her grocery items rise.
Oh my goodness, a head of cabbage is like $2 and some change when it used to be 89 cents. My kids don't eat meat. My kids eat vegetables.
This is just one of several DFW area giveaways for the food bank.
Here we also have smoked ham. We're hosting one tomorrow in Denton County at C.H. Collins Stadium. We'll have one in a few more days in Parker County to serve our 7.
Dozens of volunteers loaded car after car. The line stretched for blocks around Globe Life Field.
My job is to deliver hams.
Former Ranger and relief pitcher Mark Adams among the volunteers handing out food,
One out front.
knowing this will help families get by.
The way the economy is, just the way life is in general. I mean, there's many people that are in need. The unfortunate thing is everybody that's in need probably isn't here today.
In Tarrant County, about 15.8% of people experience food insecurity. That number includes more than 120,000 children. The impact across DFW, 1.3 million people experiencing hunger. But thanks to this giveaway,
Onions, ham, so pretty much things that you need to make dinner.
Donna Elanise picked up food for her family's next meal. In Tarrant County, I'm Scoop Jefferson.
Fans of North Texas-based Biscuit Bar were shocked when the owners announced they were closing all of their restaurants. That means employees have lost their jobs in the middle of Hanukkah and less than 2 weeks before Christmas. Richard Solomon spoke with the owners on what's become a challenging time for the hospitality business.
If you've ever stepped inside the Biscuit Bar, you know it was never just about food.
Our mission statement was to provide comfort and inspire people to come together.
From the recipes to branding, it's a part of Janie Burkett's family.
We really all, as a family, came up with all of that together.
The Burketts built the Biscuit Bar out of heartbreak after the loss of a child in 2016. What started as a way to heal became a restaurant in Plano, then grew across North Texas from Deep Ellum to Fort Worth.
We really have put all of our financial eggs, our intellectual eggs, our creative eggs in one basket.
But years later, almost to the date, the basket couldn't hold anymore.
You know, my husband and I,
Their doors have closed for good.
we've done everything we can to keep this business going.
They announced online all locations closed after a planned sale fell through. Burkett says rising costs and supply chain issues made it impossible to keep going.
Everything's up, up, up. You know, that just makes it an untenable situation.
But Kelsey Erickson Stroyford with the Texas Restaurant Association says
wages are up significantly, credit card processing fees, utilities, rent.
Owners are feeling the squeeze across DFW. She says fewer customers and higher costs are creating an industry-wide slowdown.
When we can lean in and support a local restaurant, that really does uplift whole communities.
More than 100 people are out of a job before the holidays. That's why they've created this GoFundMe.
100% of those donations go to our employees.
The dream may have ended here, but the memories they've made with so many of you will last far beyond these walls. In Plano, I'm Richard Solomon.
And those are your headlines from North Texas.
Hi, I'm Brennan Gurley, and here's what's making headlines across East Texas. As the Brown University campus continues to grieve following the fatal mass shooting, classes and finals have been canceled and students sent home. CBS 19's Ayanna Aird sat down with an East Texan who is grateful to be back home with his family.
Yeah, Brennan, Angel Lopez was studying for finals when gunfire erupted on campus. He says he can't believe what's happening, but is grateful to be back home after this devastating tragedy.
Police! Providence police!
I was studying for finals, and my friend texted our group chat, and he was like, there's an active shooter right now. Like I'm not kidding.
Brown University freshman Angel Lopez says he didn't know what was happening until the university sent out an alert. As fear set in, students focused on one thing.
Just defend each other and stay safe. They're barricading the stairs, they're going to the bathroom, barricading the door.
On Saturday, a shooting at Brown University left 2 students dead and 9 others injured. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
No.
The shooting took place inside the engineering building on campus during a final exam review session. Angel says the lockdown lasted more than 8 hours. It was Angel's first semester on campus, but there's one thing he's grateful for.
I found the plane ride home and landing to be really just thinking about how the people who didn't make it they're never gonna be able to go home and see their parents.
Angel says one of the students killed was a classmate.
More emotions I feel now are towards the victims.
In the aftermath, Angel says the Brown community stepped up, raising money and helping students get home quicker.
The Brown community was extremely generous and helpful.
Angel says he's uncertain about what returning to campus will be like.
Eventually it'll go back to feeling a secure area, but I know it'll probably take a while, so I'm not really sure how I feel about going back, but I will be going back,
So far, the community has raised more than $390,000 for one of the victims that was killed during the shooting. This just goes to show how the outpouring of support has been during this difficult time. I'm Ayana Aird reporting in studio. Back to you.
A Longview assisted living resident with a passion for muscle cars got a chance to relive his childhood dreams. Our Alan Casper was at Arabella of Longview as they revved up some good memories.
We're going to say, hey, we're taking a ride in that. We'll be right back.
Yeah, man, look at that. Look at that. Oh, man, that is so cool. They just told me I was due for a miracle moment. I said, well, what's that? And I said, well, you're going to go for a ride in a car. And I said, oh, geez, that sounds good to me.
It goes down.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Is that cool or what?
Multiple times a year, each of our communities does what we call a miracle moment for one of our residents. And so we try to do something that's just special. It's just a little something just to make them feel special.
That's where a speaker is for the radio now. Oh, you're kidding.
Yes, there's your part.
Mr. McClure, he has always loved sports cars, and so we wanted to provide that touch with his past, and just to bring him some joy.
The only thing I ever owned, it certainly wasn't a muscle car. It was just an old 50 Ford. Four-door sedan. Oh man, LT1.
Our community relations director said, hey, I've got this friend who drives a 2025 Camaro.
Good looking cars, man.
He reached out to Peter Chevrolet and told them what we had planned and what we wanted to do. So they brought out two really nice 2026 Corvettes, and they were fabulous.
Well, are these nice or what?
They're nice, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take any one of them.
Take any one of them?
Yeah.
We knew that we wanted to give Mr. McClure a ride, and so whichever vehicle he chose to ride in, that he could go for a ride. And so he chose
Chevrolet Camaro. There's a new one. No doubt about that. Oh, today was incredible. I went for a ride in a Camaro, a new Camaro, and man, we went around. Put the pedal to the metal, and boom, that thing is so fast. It'll set you back in your seat.
And that's a wrap of your East Texas headlines. I'm Brennan Gurley.
I'm Lindsay Littman. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. Temple ISD is investigating a serious incident after a student fought a teacher. Here's that video from Monday afternoon. We blurred out their faces. The student is under 18, so the district is limited on what it can say. We spoke with Temple ISD Superintendent Dr. Bobby Ott over the phone and learned the teacher is okay. Dr. Ott said the fight started after the student refused to follow instructions from the teacher. Dr. Ott says the student is on suspension while the district investigates. Meantime, McLean Children's Hospital is making wishes come true this holiday season, and some of those wishes have 4 legs and a wagging tail. The hospital launched its annual holiday wish list. They're asking the community to help brighten patients' days. Lorenzo, who is one of McLean Children's Hospital's Child Life Facility dogs, brings smiles to the kids and the staff, proving that sometimes the best medicine has a cold nose and a warm heart. Lorenzo is asking the community for help with his annual wish list. The list includes items like blankets, toiletries, and toys to bring holiday cheer to the families and patients at McLean Children's Hospital.
Every year at Christmas time, Lorenzo writes a letter to Santa on behalf of all of our patients and families here at McLean Children's, just to let Santa and our community know some of the needs of the children we have here.
But time is running out. Friday, December 19th is the last day to donate. At Temple Civic Theater, age is just a number, but anyone can be a star. Our reporter Sydney Walker has more about a new acting troupe where the only requirement is to be 55 or older.
It's crunch time at the Temple Civic Theater.
Just delightful fun.
The week of their holiday show.
It is a traditional Christmas variety show featuring local talent.
Natasha Tollison is directing Central Texas talent.
Ages 8 to age 90.
Of all ages.
I started Silver Stars this season.
Silver Stars is a theater troupe for actors ages 55 and up.
I'm always laughing when I say, this is my senior citizens theater troupe, and then I have to stop and think, oh, wow, that's me as well.
Tollison noticed the need.
Mobility, getting up on set pieces, driving at night because of vision. They were worried they couldn't memorize lines.
So they accommodate.
We look at the people that are part of our Silver Stars, and we make sure that their needs are met.
So that seniors can still shine.
People retire, and if they don't stay active, they become old.
They rehearse twice a week and have shows.
They come in and they're full of ideas, and I just see the creative juices flowing.
Through their art, they've inspired others, from current actors.
Bringing a lot of joy.
Like Martha Satterwhite.
They give me hope that I can keep doing this.
To even Tollison.
As children, we play. Then we grow out of that. And we think that playtime is something we do as children. To see the Silver Stars come alive and to play, to me, is inspirational.
A reflection of everyone they serve at every stage of life.
A community theater needs to serve their community. A community theater needs to reflect the community, and that we're trying to do that at Temple Civic Theater.
And I bet they're fabulous. The Silver Stars will be performing in Hometown Holiday this year. The show opens Thursday night and it runs through Sunday, so catch them while you can. Those are your headlines from Central Texas.
In Austin, I'm Mark Mullins. Austin Energy has launched a multi-million-dollar plan to make the city's power grid more effective when winter weather gets rough. Officials say it's been a year in the making. Kelsey Sanchez explains how utility leaders say it will help keep people's lights on.
Austin Energy crews are getting to work to make sure Austinites always have power. And now the utility is launching a new electric system resiliency plan to do that.
Crews are here installing cap banks, which are part of this plan. Officials say these capacitor tools provide voltage support to make these power lines more efficient when harsh weather conditions sweep through.
The utility's $735 million 10-year ESRP aims at making Austin's grid stronger and more reliable, according to David Tomchesin.
To harden our system, to sectionalize our system, to bring on more DR, which is distributed energy resources, onto our grid.
The plan lists priorities to focus on in 2026, such as replacing underground cable, inspecting poles, and installing reclosers, which are automatic switches that can detect issues on a power line and cut power and turn it back on when things are clear. Another focus is tree trimming, a concern back in February 2023 after ice caused tree limbs to snap and fall on power lines, knocking out power to thousands for days.
When there's ice on trees and so forth, it does pull them down into the lines and so forth. So the best thing to do is to keep them clear of the lines.
After the 2023 storm, the city looked at if it was feasible to bury thousands of power lines underground. A study released earlier this year found it would cost $50 billion. So the utility is taking that idea off the table.
It's just not affordable.
Austin Energy is also working on a public dashboard that will allow Austinites to track their progress. That should be up and running by summer, the latest. In Austin, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
Austin police are investigating a deadly crash that closed a stretch of Mopac for several hours Tuesday. APD says that crash happened in the southbound lanes of the North Mopac Expressway near Spicewood Springs Road and West Anderson Lane. Police tell us that part of Mopac was shut down for about 3 hours due to a police incident. And while we are still working to learn the exact circumstances of the crash and what triggered it, we can tell you our news crew at the scene saw 2 damaged vehicles sitting in the road. Vehicular homicide detectives are investigating what happened. The closed lanes of Mopac reopened during the lunch hour. Charges will not be pursued against Cedar Park police officers after they shot and killed a man last month. Police say on the night of November 2nd, police responded to reports of a stabbing at a karaoke bar off of Lakeline Boulevard near Cypress Creek Road. The person who was stabbed survived, but police say the suspect, 24-year-old Jacob Allen, left the scene. Officers chased him, and police say Allen pulled out a gun. 2 officers opened fire, killing him. The Texas Rangers and the Cedar Park Police Department both investigated the officers' actions and turned their investigation over to the grand jury. The Cedar Park Police Department announced a grand jury found no criminal wrongdoing by the officers. Joe Ely helped put the live music capital of the world on the map. Known for his blend of rock and roll and honky-tonk. Born in West Texas in 1947, Ely picked up a violin at the age of 8 and traded it for an electric guitar several years later. Here in Austin, he played at what's now Stubbs, alternating nights with Stevie Ray Vaughan. He toured with numerous prolific artists, from Clash to Tom Petty to the Rolling Stones and more. He was inducted into the Austin City Limits Hall of Fame in 2022. Longtime Texas music writer Joe Nick Petoskey spoke with KVUE from his home studio about the lasting impact Ely will have on the industry.
Joe Ely was this live performer that was everything good about Texas, and very electric, very exciting, not hesitant to sweat, in your face, and a whole lot of fun.
Ely died at his home in New Mexico from complications of Lewy body dementia, Parkinson's disease, and pneumonia. He leaves behind his wife Sharon and daughter Marie. Joe Ely was 78 years old. There's a new lawsuit over a group's effort to stop the new convention center from being built downtown. The Austin United PAC is suing the city of Austin. Earlier this year, the city rejected the PAC's petition to put an item on the ballot, which would have left the future of the convention center up for voters. Now, the city said the PAC hadn't collected enough valid signatures, but now the PAC is questioning the city's rejection of their petition. They're claiming the city violated the Texas Public Information Act by keeping secret how it reviewed the petition. While this is happening, demolition at the old convention center location downtown is still underway. And supporters of the Austin United PAC say they're still focused on getting the city to change course.
Now, the convention center was demolished, and some people, natural reaction is we're too late for this to reconsider. Well, the 6 blocks of land that we own is incredibly valuable, and it doesn't have to be a convention center.
A spokesperson for the city of Austin tells us they're aware of the PAC's claims. They also say the clerk's office has a thorough and reliable process to review petitions, and they look forward to presenting their case in court. Travis County Commissioners renewed a contract for media and marketing services to help recruit new officers. At Tuesday's Commissioners Court meeting, commissioners renewed a $3,750,000 deal between the Travis County Sheriff's Office and Belmont Ice House Marketing. Over the next 5 years, the marketing firm will help the Sheriff's Office fill open positions. Sheriff Sally Hernandez says the contract has been helpful with recruitment in the past. Right now, they're short roughly 132 deputies. The contract will cost $750,000 per year. TCSO and county commissioners say they plan to negotiate price of contracts each year as a cost-saving measure. Those are the headlines in Austin. I'm Mark Mullins.
I'm Mike Gillespie in Corpus Christi, and here's a look at some of what's happening in South Texas. The City Council has appointed Michael Hunter, the son of State Representative Todd Hunter, to the Port of Corpus Christi Authority. Now, he'll serve alongside 6 other commissioners overseeing the nation's largest energy export gateway and one of the world's leading crude oil ports. Hunter's term is set to begin next year. Corpus Christi Water is creating a new Farfield Advisory Committee. Now, this is designed to bring a broad range of community voices to the table to open up discussions around the Inner Harbor desalination plant. Natalia Osuna has more from city leaders.
The Inner Harbor desal plant has been a long-time controversial topic here on the Coastal Bend. And as those discussions continue, city officials tell me they're forming this committee with local community members and different experts in hopes of being transparent so that everybody feels heard and that they have the full picture.
At this Corpus Christi City Council meeting, water was one of the hot topics, as it often is.
One of the big complaints was not having the community's engagement. So doing this, I think, will help ensure that.
Brett Van Hazel with Corpus Christi Water says having a Farfield Advisory Committee dedicated to analyzing the Inner Harbor desal plant is key. So how will that model work?
Is going to look at the entire system. It's going to evaluate everything that comes into that system, everything that goes out of that system.
City Manager Peter Zanoni says the committee will allow the community to be involved in the study from start to finish.
We wanted to do a Farfield model or an assessment of the Bay system with a desalination facility before design continues much more, and certainly before construction.
Zanoni is now asking City Council members like Roland Barrera to submit nominations for the committee.
There's a tendency at times for people to be emotionally engaged, but I think it's important that we get those individuals on the community. That way they may not necessarily agree with what's going on, but hopefully they understand the process.
Councilman Mark Scott agrees, saying they want to put together a diverse group to make sure everyone has a voice.
We need to have some environmental folks. I think we need to have some people from the university and maybe Del Mar College. I think we need to have industry at the table. I think we need to have the business community, chamber representatives, builders, realtors, people who have an interest in the community to grow.
So what are the next steps? City water officials tell me they project to have the committee working throughout the next few months until about spring 2026. That's when the Inner Harbor desal plant is set to come back to City Council. But City Manager Peter Zanoni says that timeline could always change. Reporting in Corpus Christi, Natalia Osuna, 3 News.
Well, a little bit of baseball news now. The Corpus Christi Hooks may have new owners, but nothing's going to change for fans or for players. DBH Diamond Baseball Holdings, which owns 48 minor league teams across the country, completed the purchase. Now, the group handles business operations, while the Hooks remain an Astros affiliate with Astros players developing on the field. Team officials say the sale is expected to be finalized early next year, and they promise to keep fan-favorite events, fireworks, and collectibles intact.
Chicken biscuits remain, Corpus Christi Blue Ghosts. Again, the group DBH, as an ownership, really allows autonomy to the locally managed teams, because we know our markets very well, and they'll just facilitate hopefully success and growth for our business, the same as across the other minor league teams they own.
By the way, the season kicks off April 2nd. How about this? The Duval County Sheriff's annual Christmas toy giveaway had a little extra holiday magic this year. Santa flew into Wyatt Ranches by Gulfstream jet, escorted by Corpus Christi police. He was followed by Mrs. Claus, who made her own entrance, arriving by helicopter. It was all to hand out over 1,000 toys, putting big smiles on little faces. And that is a quick look at some of what's happening here in South Texas.
Here are your headlines from Southeast Texas. I'm Tia Johnson. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office identified the man who died in a fire over the weekend. We're told Jason Dennis died, but his 80-year-old mom was saved. Sheriff Chuck Havard is praising the work of one of his deputies who saved the woman from the burning home. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato spoke with the deputy who says he was just doing his job.
Your instincts take over, your training takes over, and you grab them and go.
Jasper County Sheriff's Deputy Brian Gray is being praised for his heroic actions over the weekend.
I can see the house is fully engulfed, a bunch of black smoke belling out.
Gray said he saw a man on the porch and a woman laying on the ground at the back of a home along FM 2800 in Jasper County.
She had come out of the house, made it just a little bit outside the back of the house and collapsed due to smoke inhalation. I grabbed her up, pulled her to safety. to where she was able to get out of danger's way.
The 80-year-old woman was rushed to the hospital with minor burns and is expected to be okay. Her son, identified as Jason Dennis, died. Sheriff Chuck Havard says he believes Dennis had a medical condition that prevented him from escaping the home.
The citizens of this county expect them to put the citizen safety before the officer safety sometimes. We do the best we can to minimize the risks to our people, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're expected to go in harm's way to help people.
Havard says Gray did what was expected of him.
We're just very grateful and fortunate that our deputy got there really, really quick and took action to get her to safety, because it very well easily could have resulted in another loss of life.
Deputy Gray says he was just doing his job.
I don't feel like, a hero or anything like that. It's part of the job. Sometimes it's what it requires. I would hope somebody would do the same for me or my loved ones.
He says he hopes the community can come together to support this family.
She lost everything. She's 80 years old. She's going through what she went through yesterday, that tragic event, plus losing her son yesterday, and losing all her belongings.
That was Spencer Plato reporting the cause of the fires being investigated by the State Fire Marshal's Office. Now to Hardin County, where investigators believe a chimney was to blame for a fire at the Rock and Dollar Ranch. The Lumberton Volunteer Fire Department and Hardin County ESD2 were called to Burge Road at 12:45. That's off Cooks Lake Road. Lumberton Fire Chief Shane Thomas says there was some damage. The ranch is used for weddings and other large events. And then in Newton County, crews were called to 3 separate fires Sunday night. The first came just before 11. A well house caught fire on FM 1414. Crews were able to put it out quickly. After midnight, firefighters helped other departments put out a large structure fire near Toledo Bend. Then shortly after, crews responded to a house fire on Airport Road. The home is a total loss. Monday evening, Silsbee council members voted unanimously to shoot down plans for a slaughterhouse. They would have had to pass a city ordinance allowing the business to be built within city limits, but community members weren't feeling it. 12 News reporter Daniela Tawada-Palau spoke to residents at that council meeting.
The council chambers were packed with residents who were concerned about a slaughterhouse in their backyard. On December 1st, the city voted 4-3 for an ordinance that would have allowed small slaughterhouses in areas not zoned for single-family or duplex residential. The council came back for a second reading that could have officially brought a slaughterhouse into the area, but residents showed up to voice their disapproval for the idea, including Adam Smith.
For the longest time, the residents of Silsbee would like to see Silsbee grow. But you can't just bite on the first shiny thing that comes at you. So we want to make sure that we're growing in the right direction.
The owners of Goliath Concept LP, Rex and Kimberly Raymeyer, wanted to build the slaughterhouse at the old Silsbee Doctors Hospital. They also attended the meeting to answer questions and explain why they wanted to bring the business to the city.
We're looking for the town to invest and be a part of this, and more people and ranchers to invest and be a part of this. We're not coming in here to be anything but a part of your town.
In the end, city council members voted no on the ordinance, bringing the Raymeyers' plan to a halt. However, both council members and residents mentioned they would support the couple bringing a different business into the old hospital. I tried to speak to the Raymeyers, but they declined an interview for today. In Silsbee, Danielle Tawada-Palau, 12 News.
And those were the headlines from Southeast Texas.